What's up, you guys? Anthony here. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to answer one of the most common questions that I see in my comments and that I get in personal DMs, which is, Anthony, I can't stop gooning. What do I do instead? And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to replace your gooning habits with making $10,000 per day with a branded dropshipping business using only AI created images and copy. So if you are someone who is currently watching this video and you have struggled to make consistent sales with a dropshipping business, and you've used video content, you've used ripped content from Kalo data, you've downloaded organic TikToks, you've spent hours inside of CapCut putting together video ads, and you still can't make any consistent sales, then in this video, I'm going to show you how you can scale to $1,000 and even $10,000 per day without using any of that bullshit. And you can do it all in less than 10 minutes, as I'm about to show you in this video, using AI created images and copy. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. All right, really quick before we dive in, the strategy that I'm about to teach you is, as you can see, I just want to show you guys that I practice what I preach. And over the last, let's go 30 days on this particular ad set, or this campaign rather, we spent about $27,000, and you can see some of our most highest spending creatives are going to be in this format here. And I've tested multiple different formats, but I'm going to show you basically how to create this format here. So let's go down here and show you guys what the performance looks like on these creatives. 2 return on ad spend, 3,500 spent, and 7.3K in conversion value reported on Facebook. So let's show you how to make this. All right, so the style of creative that we're going to be creating today is what I call the native mini sales letter. And I just want to say, first and foremost, I did not invent this format. I came across this format after studying countless brands and interacting with people inside of my community guide to ecom, and basically discovering that people and brands were running these ads where they were running really long form copy, like almost like the copy that you see that info marketers use for selling coaching services, coaching programs, that personal trainers use, basically any info service based business. If you look at a lot of Alex Hormozi's creatives from way back in the day when he was running Gym Launch, you'll see the ad copy in the primary text is fucking lines and lines and lines and lines of text. And I saw these guys were applying this essentially to the e-com space. So essentially what we're doing here is we're taking images that inherently in and of themselves do not look like ads. So think about the traditional Facebook static creative. Like if you go look up how to create Facebook ads, how to create images for Facebook ads using ChatGPT, all of those creatives that you see, we're going to be doing the complete opposite. We're going to be intentionally creating things that look nothing like ads. And I've tested a variety of different formats. I've tried a variety of different styles and visual aesthetics. And I'm telling you right now, the format that works best, especially when you're running long form copy, is going to be any kind of image that looks like something that somebody would post natively to Facebook. So you want to think of photos that someone would take with their iPhone, on the selfie camera, with the back camera, things that people are likely to just post and share on Facebook. Those are the kinds of photos that are performing well. I've tried long form copy with multiple different kinds of formats, and maybe it's a niche specific, but I do want to say across the multiple niches that I've seen this style working in, most of the guys that are crushing it are using native images. So essentially what we're going to be creating is a native image using a couple of different apps. And then we're going to be creating the long form copy. Now, the long form copy is essentially why I call this ad format the native mini sales letter, is because it is essentially a sales letter. And for those of you guys that don't know what a sales letter is, let me show you an example of what that looks like. So what you are looking at here is a sales letter that was written, I believe to be, by the godfather of modern internet marketing and copywriting. That's what I call him. I'm just a huge fan. I bought all his courses and I use a lot of his material in my advertising as well. And this is a sales letter from Stefan Georgi. And a sales letter is essentially a very long form piece of copy, and it's designed obviously to sell a product. Now, if you can see my scroll bar here in the far right, look at how small that thing is. Okay, this is when you want to say long form copy. Okay, this is a traditional sales letter. Okay, these guys are trying to sell this stem cell product here, and as you can see, this thing is fucking just insanely long. And so what we're doing essentially with our Facebook ads is we are creating a sales letter, and we're creating a mini version of this. We're not creating an advertorial, we're creating a sales letter, and we're creating a mini version. So the mini sales letter is going to be anywhere from 1,000 words to, on the high end, 2,000 or even 3,000 words, but typically no less than 1,000. You can get away with 700 and 900 depending on the strength of the copy itself, but we're going to be putting together about 1,000 to 2,000 words of copy. And I want you to pay attention to the first just little snippet here. First of all, this headline is arguably, I shared this in the group a couple of days ago, but I think this is one of the greatest headlines ever in the history of anything, not just ecom, not just marketing, just the greatest headline in the history of anything and everything that ever was. So let's read it together. New stem cell breakthrough doesn't just pause the aging process, it rewinds it. Okay. So what we're doing here is essentially we're creating this and we're condensing it down, like all of the main like frameworks, we're condensing them down to 1,000 words. And then we're going to pair that with a native image. And that's exactly what brands like Tribella are doing. That's exactly what I'm doing with my brand, is creating these really long format sales letters or long format for Facebook. And then we're running them as ads using images that are very, very native to the platform. So let's start with step one, which is creating the native image itself. All right. So to begin, in order to create the native images, all you really need access to is Google and one other app, which I'm going to show you in just a couple minutes here. So the first thing that you need to do is we're going to go into Google and we're going to type in site:facebook.com. And then we're going to type in some type of search term or phrase that is related to either our audience, the problem that they're going through, or the product that we're going to sell. So for example, if I was to sell a hair loss product, what I would do is type in site:facebook.com, and then I would put in anything related to that problem that's going to immediately grab attention. So we're going to type in balding guy. All right. And what we'll do here is we'll zoom this out. I don't know why my Google Chrome is zoomed in like hell. We'll put in like male balding instead. Okay. Male balding. And we're just going to look for images. Like if we were selling this kind of product, we're going to look for images, again, that look exactly like someone would post on to Facebook if they were just sharing, with friends and family. So this is a perfect example of a photo that we could use if we were going to sell, let's say like a hair loss supplement. And as you can see, this photo and these other photos, you're going to come across photos that are actually posted on Facebook itself, right? So let's put like middle-aged male balding. Okay. And what we can do is go through this. I mean, this is honestly, as I said earlier, one of the best images that we could probably go for. This is another really good one that's just like super attention grabbing. Let's go back to this one here. So this is a perfect example of a native image that we would run. So the next step is to then save this image. We're just going to put balding guy. Okay. Then we're going to go over to an app called Higgsfield. All right. So now that we are inside of Higgsfield, what we're going to do now is we're going to upload that image, baldingguy.jpg. And as you can see, these are some of the images that I'm currently using for my own brand. I mean, tell me this does not look like something someone would shoot with an iPhone. I mean, AI is getting absolutely ridiculous with how organic and real it looks. And I will tell you again, like this style of photo completely flops. You want like legit, like selfie style, grandma posting to Facebook and updating her grandkids type shit. Like, this style of photo works really well. This style works really well. Anything that looks overly staged is flopping. So even some of these, you can just kind of tell. Well, actually not this. This works really well. This is a type of image that would flop. This is working quite well. Pretty much any image, again, that doesn't look super staged. This flopped. These flopped. So you want like stuff like this. This is perfect too, right? Just super native. You want to get as native as possible. Again, you don't want to look like you are a brand or even an ad, right? You want to just look like a native post to Facebook. So what we're going to do now is, as this is generating, what we've done here is we've uploaded the image, and it's now going to recreate this image using Higgsfield. That way we can actually use the image. So what you don't want to do is grab this image and then run it as a Facebook ad, because that can get you in all kinds of legal trouble. So you want to create it in AI, and that way not only will you have 4 variations of it, but then you can also simply just use it without having to worry about getting a copyright strike or DMCA or whatever. Right, so I found a product that I can actually use for the example here, but let's say you have a product page built, or let's say you have a competitor that you're going based off of. What we're going to do now is, while this is generating, all right, it's actually done. This is perfect. Whoa, this guy's... This is what happens to you after you join God Tier Ecom. Your mind expands very rapidly, and you become so smart that, Jesus Christ, it's kind of freaky to look at. In fact, that is just, I'm going to fucking delete that. Actually, maybe I would run that just because it's so fucking attention grabbing. It's just like, what the hell is going on? To be honest with you guys, I'd probably run something closer to this or this. This is great because it just shows that shine of the bald head so well. So that is the image that we're going to be rocking with. Next, as you guys know, I have a series of prompts, which you can find in the description of this video below. And I'm going to show you some modifications that I've been making to the prompts. I have updated the prompts. Those are available inside of God Tier Ecom. But these particular prompts, I want to show you how I kind of approach them a little bit differently and how I write the copy a little bit differently than you've seen on previous videos. So even if you're a returning viewer, this is going to be valuable to you. So what we're going to do is extract the mass desires in a very rudimentary way. The way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to basically put a screenshot of the product and very simply say extract the mass desires by listing out all of the performances of this product. And then I'm also going to attach a copy of Breakthrough Advertising. Very simple to find a copy of it online as a PDF. I'm not going to do it here, but you can easily find it. And what we're going to do is list out the primary performances of the product. Okay. And then from there, we're going to say, according to Schwartz and this prompt, extract the mass desires. Okay, so next we're going to go into prompt number 5 here, which is identifying the dominant mass desires. And you can just grab this, paste this into your chat like this. All right, I want to look sharp and well groomed every single day without effort. I want to stop wasting money on barber visits and expensive razors. I want to embrace my baldness with confidence instead of hiding it. I like that. So let's say that this is our mass desire. Then what we're going to do is we're going to write some copy for this desire by using this prompt here. Okay, and all you need to do is copy paste everything from underneath prompt number 6 into prompt number 7. And you go like this. Okay. Damn, that's already really good. My wife found me crying in the bathroom at 3 in the morning, staring at clumps of hair in the sink. I wasn't crying about the hair. I was crying because I'd spent 6 months trying to save something that was already gone. Every morning started the same way. I'd wake up 20 minutes early to carefully style what was left, spray comb, adjust, check the mirror from different angles, convince myself it looked full enough. Now, this copy comes out of the gate pretty much ready to go. Now, I haven't done yet any videos on how to manually edit your own copy, which is going to be coming in the future. But honestly, guys, the way that this prompt is set up is so that way you can pretty much just enter in the prompt, do a little bit of manual refinement and editing. Like what I would recommend you do is you read through your copy and you want to read it. Imagine that you're a consumer and approach it as if like you're just reading it. You're not selling anything. You as a reader of the material is just reading it. And you want to pay attention to any points where it feels like there's any friction, where you have to stop and maybe think about a word, or you get disinterested and your mind starts to drift. Those are the areas that you want to attack and you want to refine and edit out. Because a lot of the times the copy that comes out of Claude is going to be very wordy. It's going to use words that have a very heavy and convoluted mouthfeel to them. And if it's convoluted to read and to say, it's going to be convoluted in your customer's mind. And what you want is you want your copy to be like a slippery slide. You want it to be psychologically easy and almost effortless to read through. So that way there's zero friction. Because at any point of friction, remember, this is going to be a Facebook ad. If there's any friction at all in the copy, that person is going to scroll away. They're going to go to the next piece of content and they're going to completely forget about you. So it's very important that you go through this manually, add some extra line breaks, get rid of those points of friction. And then from there, you can run that updated copy. So one thing that I'm starting to do more of now, before I would teach you guys to just basically run this as is after making some minor edits, is I actually have started to write dedicated headlines and hooks that I put on top of the copy. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I am using this website called yourmarketingmachines.com, and they have the 100 greatest headlines ever used. Now, I am basically taking all of these 100 greatest headlines and I'm dumping them into Claude, and I'm using these to start the copy. And I'm noticing the result of this is that not only am I getting lower cost per clicks, but I'm not having to rely on really heavily clickbaity style formats in order to get clicks on my ad. I was about to show you an example of a clickbaity format. Who the fuck is putting Mr. Beast? Some of you guys are asking for a fucking lawsuit, dude. Some of you guys are crazy, man. This was the more clickbaity style of format that was working. decently well for me. Now, when I was using this style of format, I was getting really, really low cost per clicks, but often the CPA was quite high on these ads. And if I didn't have other ads, native ads in my account to balance this out, it would have completely ruined my campaign performance. Now, what I'm noticing is by attaching these headlines, these style of headlines, which let's go ahead and we'll say, right, to give you of the greatest headlines ever written, I want you to now come up with 5 potential headlines as first sentences we can use to grab someone's attention and make them want to read the next sentence. Okay, so we're going to paste this in. And basically what I was saying is I'm noticing by attaching a really, really good headline, like some of these are just really, really attention grabbing. If you compare that to something like this, like where the first sentence is just so immediately attention grabbing, like even if you're not someone who is interested in stem cells or even could eventually be in the market for stem cells, when you see doesn't just pause the aging process, it rewinds it, that naturally makes you curious about what these people have to say, right? And you want that effect with your first sentence. It's one of the most important things in your copy. Arguably the most important sentence in your copy is the first one. So this website has 100 of the greatest headlines ever written. And I'm not using these in the headlines section of Facebook ad to clarify. This is going to go as the first sentence of our ad copy because we want to grab their attention. If we have a relevant enough image, they'll stop and read the first sentence. And if they read the first sentence, they'll read the rest of the copy. And then they will be persuaded eventually to buy the product. So let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so we've got 5 potential headlines. That's the original one. Who else wants to stop checking their reflection? That's a really good one. See, that's a really good example of a headline that is stopping the scroll, right? Immediately calls out the problem and is attention grabbing and drives curiosity. Who else wants to stop checking their reflection 50 times a day? Okay, let's say come up with 5 more. Use the most relevant styles from the 100 in your selection. I don't know. Does that even make sense? That's insane. Wait. Hold on. This should be relevant to our product. I made this 1 minute. My 7-year-old daughter finally started hugging me again. That's crazy. I guess I could see that. I could see something like that just being super attention grabbing. Relevant to the mass desire and problem our product solves. You do have to kind of massage it a little bit, as you can see. Definitely not perfect. Oh, that's my live view. That is awesome. Who else wants to stop hiding under baseball caps and start owning every room they walk into? They pitied me when I started losing. How I went from checking my home. That's insane. How I went from checking my to not owning a comb. I actually really like this one. Right. So let me show you now how we put this all together with the copy and the image as well. All right, so I'm inside of the Creative Hub Builder just so I can give you guys an idea of what it will look like or what the finished product should look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our image in here. So we've gone ahead and added in our media here. What we're going to do next is we're going to insert our primary text. So we're going to go back into Claude and we're going to grab our copy, which is here. And we'll go back into Facebook. Okay, make sure there's no like Claude like, oh, this is the copy, like ending sentence. You just want the copy here. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to enter in some space here so we can type above our first sentence of the copy. And now we're going to grab in one of our beautifully written hooks here. So let's grab this one. That's insane. I think it was this one, right? Okay, so now we grab this, go back into Creative Hub, and then that becomes our primary text. Now, what I usually use for the actual headline is something to do, some very vague audience call out or problem call out. So I'll say like, read if you are tired of hiding behind, under your baseball cap, right? And then I'll usually put like arrow down or arrow up. Let's do arrow up just like this. Okay. So now we have our primary text and we have our headline, and we're not going to do any description and call to action. We're going to leave this as learn more if we're going to an advertorial or a listicle. If we're going to a product page, we're going to set this to shop now. And we're going to turn off all of these bullshit ass creative enhancements here. Let's get rid of these text improvements, enhance CTA. You don't want any of that bullshit on. Okay. And we'll go ahead and press done. And as you can see, it's already starting to populate here. Seems to be loading quite a bit. All right. So there is the ad creative. All right. For some reason, the actual headline itself is not populating. And let's shorten this down. And I think we need to put a website. So www.google.com. We'll put under your hat just to shorten that. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Only thing I'd probably change to this is, like not making it like capital letters every word or every word, just so it looks a little bit more natural. But this is essentially the style of ad creative that we're creating and that I'm using, and that's responsible for allowing me to hit the kinds of numbers that I'm hitting on this store here. Okay. So, yeah, this is basically the format. And as you can see, it looks very, very native. And like, it just looks like a photo. This could be me posting a photo of me going bald. And hopefully you can see across all of the, now the thing here is like, you have to keep in mind, if my page name wasn't so long, it wouldn't cut off here on the text. But keep in mind, as people are scrolling, like what you really want to pay attention to is Facebook feed, like the mobile feed in particular. That's probably going to be 90% of your placements. So the first thing I see is this big ass photo of this guy balding. And then the headline goes, who else wants to stop hiding under baseball caps and start owning every room they walk into? Okay. Then they press see more, and then they read the copy, which is long as fuck. But this is basically the strategy, and they're going to go through this copy. And by the time they get to the bottom of this copy, they're going to feel like, holy shit, I need this product. And I need it really, really badly. And that's where your product page will come into play. Your advertorial will come into play. But this is basically the style of image ad creative that I'm using. And this is the format that's responsible for allowing me to hit the kinds of numbers that I'm hitting right now on my branded dropshipping business. So, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content as always. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I'm trying to upload videos every single day. I have been slacking a little bit, but if you made it to this point in the video, drop a comment on what kinds of videos you want to see next. I've been seeing you guys want to see advertorial setups. You want to see more about image ad creatives. You want to see cost caps, bid caps, scaling. There's a lot of different topics. So I'm trying to get to all of them. It just takes a lot of time to record these videos, come up with what I'm going to say on the videos, and then record them and then upload them, all that good stuff. So drop a comment right now if you could do me a favor and let me know what kinds of videos you want to see next. Again, I'm trying to upload every 48 hours. Every day, but realistically every 48 hours. So there's a really good chance that if you leave a comment, because I read all of them, I'm going to make a video on that comment or topic that you want me to cover. So drop a comment. Otherwise, I hope you got a ton of value out of this as always. Any of the resources and prompts that I used are going to be linked in the description for free as always. And yeah, that's basically going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.